Hey everyone, hope everybody's keeping well. So today I'm going to be going live with Presidential Marketing Director Seamus Penrose, who I've known for the last 3.5 years. He has helped me massively in my business, since the very early beginnings, and he's absolutely incredible. He works alongside his wife, Mary Penrose, who I'm just going to get on Seamus today. But he's probably going to share both of their stories, both of their journeys anyway. He will be the third presidential marketing director I've had on my page, and presidential marketing is the top position in our company. So it's an incredible position, guys. The guys who are at this position are living incredible lifestyles that most of us only ever dream about. So I'm going to get Seamus on now here to share his insight of what's possible with our company. Hello.
Hey, Paddy.
Hey, Dubliner now.
I'm Dublin. I'm starting to get a Dublin accent.
How are you?
Doing really good, doing really good. How about you?
Good, not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for coming on, really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. So I suppose we get straight into it. I've introduced you there a little bit on your page, but I suppose take it back, introduce yourself, how you came across the opportunity, and maybe some of the early days in the business.
Yeah, so I can take it back. So I've been involved with the business almost 10 years. So it's a long, long time I've been with the business, and to actually be at one thing for that amount of time, there has to be something in it. But if I take you way back to the very start, before I actually got involved in the business, I used to work in the construction industry. I left school early to go and work in construction. My family all work in construction, my uncles, my father, and my brothers. So no matter what I was going to do in the school, as soon as I was finished, I was going to have to go and work in construction. And one of the reasons I went to work in construction, because I didn't really think I was smart enough to go on and do college. And I thought, you know what, I'll go and work in construction. Nobody will ask me to do spellings. Nobody's going to ask me about my English when I'm on a building site. And I thought, you know what, I'll go and do it. So I went work in construction, enjoyed it, loved working out with my family. My father was really, really enjoyable. But it wasn't something I always dreamed about when I was growing up. It wasn't something I dreamed about to go and work in construction. And sometimes I just kind of fell into it sort of out of sort of habit. I just kind of fell and was the easiest thing to go and work at. And then eventually I built it up that I thought, you know what, I'm going to set up my own business. I sort of branched off and started working in with carpentry. And then I started up then and I had my own stair business. And things were going good. I had to invest a lot of money. For anybody who's ever set up maybe your own business, it's not that easy to get your own business off the ground. So I had to invest a lot of money. I had to go to the banks. I had to get a big loan out to buy the machinery, the van, and things were going good. But then unfortunately, 2008 hit. It was the last time we had the big recession. And I was losing money very, very quickly because the bills still had to be paid that I had taken out with the mortgage on. We'd bought a new house kind of before the recession hit. We'd bought a new house. I had set up my business. I had the business loans, but we didn't have the money coming in that we did before we'd got the mortgage and we set up the business. So a lot of bills had to go out and the money was getting scarcer and scarcer and scarcer. And a lot of the time we didn't have the money to pay the bills off. And it wasn't a nice place to be in. And I always remember I used to dread, I got to a stage, it was so bad. I dreaded getting a phone call because I knew that it was going to be somebody looking for money and I didn't have the money to pay them. And we were starting to fall behind on our mortgage. I think we got to a stage when it was the worst. We were like 4 payments behind actually on our mortgage. And it's not a nice place to be, especially when you've got two young kids and you've got a family and you're trying to keep a house over their head. It's not a nice place to be in. And it's that fear, you're living in fear. Can we actually get out of it? And I remember it got so bad, like I had actually started hiding credit card bills from Mary because I didn't really want her to realize how bad we actually were, because I thought it's going to last maybe for a couple of months, maybe even a year, and I can try and maybe struggle through it and hopefully we'll get out of at the other end. But it just wasn't getting any better. It was just getting further and further into debt, and it was getting tighter and tighter. And then eventually I remember Mary finding the credit card bills that I'd been hiding up in the office, and there was like 10,000 put on credit card bills. And if anybody's had got credit card bills, the interest rate when you can't pay them is astronomical, because Most months I wasn't even able to pay the interest on the credit cards, never mind actually try and pay off the credit cards. And we had like a blazing row. And I remember it got to the stage, I thought, you know what? If I keep going down the path that I'm going, I could end up losing everything. I could lose the house. I could all lose my family, my wife, my kids. And I thought, well, something has to change. So we made the decision that I would actually close down my stair business, and I went back to college as a mature student. And it was a tight decision to make because I had spent years trying to build up my business, trying to keep it afloat, investing not only just the money, but all the time into my business. So it was a hard thing to do, but I thought for the greater good, this is something I'm going to have to do. So I went back to college as a mature student, and remember that sort of lull between when I closed down my business before I was starting college. I had to actually go and sign on the unemployment, even though they weren't going to give me any money because I had been self-employed. They weren't saying they said I wasn't entitled, but I still had to go every single week, and I had to stand outside the unemployment office and I had to go in and sign my name down. So hopefully that I would be allowed to get some kind of back to education allowance that would allow me to go back to college. But it wasn't a nice place. And I remember feeling like such a failure standing outside an unemployment office, thinking like I was a failure as a father. I was a failure as a husband to my wife, because I knew we were in that situation because of me. It wasn't because of what Mary had done, because Mary still had a good teaching wage. But it doesn't matter whether you're bringing in 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, if your outgoings are more than what you were bringing in. So we were just getting further and further in debt. And I felt such a failure. But I think looking back now, sometimes we had to go through that, because if we hadn't went through those really low times, when the business opportunity was showed to us back almost 10 years ago, if my stair business had been still going really, really well, I would have no interest. I would have thought, no, that's not for me. I don't need to do that there. But I think we were at such a desperation in our life that we were willing to look at things that maybe we wouldn't have looked at a year previously, 2 years previously, because we desperately needed to bring in an extra income to the house, even just to try and pay off some of those bills and try and maybe have a little bit of, we could build up savings again. So we looked at the opportunity, and I'm very, very glad that we did. And it was Mary that looked at it before me. I probably would have been the type of person who would say, do you know what, I'm not doing anything like that there. But Mary was desperate to get us out of where we were currently at, and she loved the products because she had been on them herself and she got incredible benefits. So she thought, you know what, well, why not try the business? It was €60 to get signed up. We thought, what have we really got to lose? And we started off in it, and we thought, even if we could cover the cost even of Mary's wage or Mary's products that she was currently taking, and then maybe try and build it up that we could earn an extra 200, maybe to €500. And that's kind of how we got started in the business. And it just has kind of grown from then. Like each month our business started to kind of grow. When it started to grow, we started to kind of go up through the different promotions with the company. And as you said, we've built it up now to we're presidential marketing director. And a lot of people maybe watching this is going, what the hell is presidential marketing director? I don't even know what that means.
I have it here.
So that's what we were calculating just before I was coming on the call. I was calculating, we've collected over 105,000 in bonuses by reaching presidential
It's going to be
marketing
backwards
director.
for people, I'd say.
So like that's over 105,000 in bonuses. That's not even including what we make on a monthly basis now. Like it's 105,000. Like if you're watching this, think on what could you do with 105,000 euros coming into your bank account, that when you have everything else covered, like because the commissions that you'll make with this business probably will allow you to pay your mortgage. It will allow you, if you want to go through the marketing plan like myself and my wife did, it will allow you to have a really good standard of income. It will allow you to raise your standard of living, because it's like even with the house we're sitting in, this our dream house. We've moved to Malahide, as you said. We used to live in Letterkenny, and only 4 weeks ago we decided, you know what, we're going to move to Letterkenny, or move down from Letterkenny to Malahide, and we're living in our dream house. And that would not be possible without this business. If we had not started this business, I know hand on heart, we would not be living in a house like we're living in now. We would not be driving the type of car that we're driving now. And that is down to this business. And that shows you what's actually possible with this business if you want to make a full-time income out of it. But if you're somebody is thinking, do you know what, I just want to earn that 200 to 500 euros, you can do that as well, exactly like us when we first joined, because we didn't really believe that we could be successful, because we didn't know if it was going to work. The person who told us about it He was telling us that people can possibly make money for it, but until we did it ourselves, it was only theory. But after we started to get that paycheck coming into our bank account and we started to hit those first couple of bonuses, we realized to ourselves that, you know what, maybe we can do this business. Maybe this is something that we have been hoping for that's going to take us out of the situation that we were in. And we just kept working and we kept working and we started to treat it like a real business. And I think that's what kind of happens, differentiates between what we've been able to do, like yourself and Paddy and Sabrina, what you guys have done in the business as well. We treated it like a real business. Even though it only cost us €60 to get signed up, we treated it like a real business. We showed up, we had set hours that we worked our business, and it started to pay us like a real business. And I think that's where some people's downfalls is. They think it's €60 and they treat it like a hobby and they just try and fit it in. But most times Netflix comes in the way, other things comes in the way, and sometimes they don't make the same type of money that we make out of it because it's a hobby for them. But it does definitely work if you're willing to put in the time and the effort. It's like a business in a box. Like when we first signed up to this business, there was no big outgoings. We didn't have to go to the bank and say, can you give me a big loan because I need to go out and buy €10,000 worth of products that I can try and sell on to people. All we did was €60. We signed up. We got a mentor for that €60 who showed us exactly what we needed to do to hit the next promotion. Then he showed us what to do with the next promotion. He held us by the hand until we become comfortable and confident that we could go and do it ourselves. And for €60, that's that business in a box that most people would love to get, because we talk to people now on a daily basis and they're like, I want to set up my own business. And they have to go out and they have to go look for a mentor. They have to try and look for a coach. They have to go to the bank and say, can you help me invest in this new business? And it could be 2 years, 3 years before they even make a profit. But with this business, it's at €60 and you have somebody there to guide you by the hand. And even if you get 1 or 2 customers, you're in profit straight away. So it's so different than anything else out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you're very modest there. Do you ever see that Instagram guy that goes around and people are driving really nice cars and he says, what do you work at? You guys are driving what most people would consider their dream car. You're in an incredible house, guys, in Malahide. You moved recently there. So it is, looking at you guys, you inspire so many. It's an incredible lifestyle that you guys are living. You've been to Dubai for a month this year as well, I think.
Month, yeah, month.
You went to Dubai for a month this year. You've been back and forward on planes. You've been moving. You've had incredible freedom with this business as well. So, it is very inspirational. And I suppose, what are some of your best memories from this business has given you?
The money's incredible. And I think when you start at the very, very start, that's what you're looking for, because where we were currently at, we didn't have money. And it was like, we need money, we need money. But then when you make money and you have the nice car, you have the nice things, you're able to buy the nice clothes, what allows you then is it's the freedom. It's the time freedom this business gives you. It's like myself and Mary, we're able to get up in the morning and we can walk our kids to school. We can pick our kids up. Jamie's mad about basketball since we've moved down to Malahide. But I'm able to drive Jamie to basketball. I'm able to sit there and I can watch him play basketball. I can go to all of his games and I can see him scoring his first points. I can see him doing that and I can see his face because he's looking around to see, am I watching? And it's that the freedom that this business gives you definitely outweighs any of the money that you can bring in, because we live in an incredible house. We live in a like beautiful estate. There's beautiful houses around us and there's people here very, very successful. But a lot of them don't have the time freedom that we have. They probably make the same type of money that we make, but a lot of them don't have the time freedom. A lot of them can't decide today, well, do you know what? Our kids need us to go and pick them up. Our kids need us to go and do them. Myself and my wife, we can drop whatever we want and we can decide, yes, we're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. We can go and do this for our kids, because it's the time freedom that we have with this business. And the experiences with it have been phenomenal. Like one of my best experiences probably is actually walking out on stage in Barcelona in front of 8,000 people and actually getting to give my presentation. I've been able to reach presidential marketing director. And for me, that was a big, big thing for me, because I was super, super shy growing up. I was the quiet, introverted kid who was petrified of trying to talk in front of in front of the classroom. I was afraid to even put my hand up and ask a question in class because I was so quiet and so introverted. So to be able to go and give a presentation in front of 8,000 people on a stage that Bear Grylls was speaking on after us, that was one of the highlights probably of the business since I've joined. It's been in the places that we've been able to fly. The company has flown us all around the world to actually speak and present, which is absolutely phenomenal. To think on somebody who comes from a small town outside Letterkenny, like a small village, there was only a couple of hundred people lived in it, to be able to grow and speak in front of 8,000 people. Like, people like me don't normally get to do things like that. When I think back where I grew up from, living in a caravan with my parents and my brothers, to be able to live the life that I live now, it's all down to this business. It's given me the opportunity to live the life that I knew that I possibly could live.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. What do you think, someone signs up today, what advice would you give them to get them off to a good start?
Definitely listen to your mentor, because what I love about this business is you're not in it yourself. You're not signing up and having to figure out everything yourself. There is a proven track record. Like, if I've been able to be successful, Paddy's been able to be successful, his wife Sabrina, my wife, have been successful, hundreds of other people in our team have been successful. There is a proven track record, and follow that track record until you can prove that it doesn't work. Because if you want to be successful, just follow the footsteps of other people who've went before you. Because a lot of the times people feel in businesses, they try and have to figure it all out themselves. They think that they've got to do this way, they've got to do it that way. But if you've got a mentor who's a couple of steps ahead of you, that has the life that you want to live, just follow their steps and treat it like a business. Just because the sign-up fee is very, very minimal, treat it like you've taken out a mortgage of 100,000 for a business loan. Show up in your business like that, and you cannot be successful.
Amazing. And one last question. What do you think stops most people from becoming successful?
I think they listen to other people's opinions. They think because maybe somebody else has maybe tried it in the past and they haven't been successful, that they think, do you know what, I'm not going to try it because my cousin Joe tried it and he wasn't successful. You've got to think on, it's not down to the profession why people feel, it's down to people. There's people sign up to become hairdressers. There's people sign up to be personal trainers. There's people who sign up and go all the way through college to become teachers and never make a penny out of it. It's nothing to do with the profession. If you want to be successful in this industry, you'll be successful in it. If you don't want to be successful, you'll find reasons why you won't be successful. If one person has been able to earn an income from this business works. If you were bringing me on this call, Paddy, and you were saying to me, Paddy, tell these people what maybe they could do, but we've never done it ourselves, then they could say, well, maybe there's a possibility I can fail. But if I've been successful, you've been successful, Paddy, they can be successful too. So the reason why they'll be successful will be down to them. The reason why they'll fail will be down to them as well.
Amazing. That's great advice as well. So I think that's it. That was just perfect. You covered absolutely everything I wanted to cover. Again, I really appreciate coming on. It's absolutely incredible. We've actually become really good friends over the last 3 years. We've been to lots of events and had lots of great times together. That picture was just one of them at Laura's wedding, who's on the team as well. Right. She's an international marketing director on the team. Another lady I will get on my page, but we're able to create this whole community of people and share life memories. I think that's another great side to the business, as well as the people involved and the friends you make.
Yeah, like most of the people, like we have a team of thousands of people all around the world. We didn't know any of them before we joined this business. Like yourself, Paddy, we did not know you, but you come in through and now we become really good friends. And it's not even just the money. it's actually the people you become, because when you're surrounded by positive people who want to see you do better, you push yourself a little bit more than maybe if you were doing something yourself. It's like if you ever go for a jog on your own, you'll probably stop a lot sooner rather than if you go for a jog with a couple of friends, because you're not going to be the one that wants to stop. And if desperately, and especially if you go with a group of friends who are positive and want to see you do well, you'll probably run further than you've ever run. And that's the same thing with this business.
Amazing. I could keep you on here all night. You're just rolling them off your tongue. Amazing. Okay, Seamus, I'll leave it at that because it was lovely and short and it was perfect. So we'll leave it at that, and I will get you on again. I might even get you on with Mary or something, and we could just do like
Definitely.
a couple call or something like that and share, to other couples in the business who might want to get involved.
It's been my pleasure, Paddy.
All right. Thanks very much for coming on, Seamus.
Talk to you
See you
later.
later. Have a good evening.